All right. What rank are you in ones?
Champ 1.
Okay.
If I could make an estimated guess, this is probably between Div 2 and Div 3.
Gotcha. Okay. Whoa, you got a jump reset there? Okay,
I
first of
did.
all, I like your kickoff. Just something to note here. This is more of a preference thing for me, but since you're already straight, I find it kind of maybe a little too complicated sometimes. It's very easy to mess up if you go like slightly off to the right, do a speed flip to the left. You're adding so much complexity here where there doesn't need to be any. The difference between you doing a front flip and a speed flip here is very, very minimal. Because you're already picking a boost, so you can boost through this straight. So the speed difference that you gain from doing a speed flip here is not that great. So this is actually the one kickoff where I don't do a speed flip. On this one, I actually front flip. I grab this boost pad and then I front flip right before I grab the second one, and then I'm at the ball, and then I either side flip to the right or left, right?
Okay.
So just something to note. It's preference on my side, but if you add more complexity there, if you veer off too far to the right or left, then you mess up your flip. There's just so many variables that you can screw up there. I am not gonna lie, that did not look like you got a jump reset there.
Even I was surprised in the moment, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you have a good kickoff for the most part. Yeah, I think to be honest with you, it's just a matter of like catching this on the left side, because you're kind of going out, your rotation is out wide and you're kind of sweeping out. What you need to be doing is grabbing the boost and just going straight to to where the ball is landing.
Okay.
You're a little bit too wide, and that's why you kind of catch it too much on the front of your car, whereas you need to be hitting this like on the left side on like the corner. And that's why, since you hit it on the front, you took too much wide of a path here. You're actually going too far forward, and you're not able to quite get clean possession from this, or clean catch. To be honest with you, every jump is like a commit in some way, right? So the second you go for a 50 here, you don't even need to do that. He's already going to go and make a challenge at you. So why not just let him hit it to the side and then just steal his boost from here? Because you're already enough of a threat where that he's not going to, he's not just going to pop this over you. So if anything, you could just single jump and then keep your car pointed this way. You don't need to flip to the right. You can just single jump and just boost into the challenge here after the challenge, and then steal his boost and go back. But because you jump here and you're diving at this play, you're stuck in the corner, and he's able to capitalize on it. Okay, so especially so on this one, I'm not sure how comfortable you are flipping to the left, but obviously your objective is to not let the ball go past you, in the net, right? So I think flipping to the right here is only good if you're actually pushing it left, or entirely doing a speed flip and hitting the ball on the far right side and actually getting it past him. So I don't know if you can do a speed flip to the left, but I'd prefer it if you grab this boost pad, flip to the left and get behind the ball, and then you can still flip left if you want to push it that way or not. But you'll be more center behind it, and you can see because you don't do that, you're actually too far on the side of the ball. 1 sec.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, sorry about that. But yeah, you're on the side of the ball, and this guy is behind it, so it's pretty much what you'd expect on that kickoff. Woo, close one.
I wanted that one.
You wanted like the touch down to the ground, yeah. To be honest with you, I think you're playing pretty similarly to how Prague does. He plays Supersonic a lot, and
yeah,
I know that's more of
a.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I actually wanted to ask you about that because I've seen your gameplay, especially the 2v1 that me and you did.
Yeah.
And you're not
I'm not super fast.
You're not, yeah, you're not supersonic all the time.
Right.
you're just very positional.
I think a lot of my play style actually comes from being more explosive, being able to shoot from 0 to 100 very quickly, or being able to transition from going slow to going fast, right? And my philosophy on that is that, yeah, okay, it's nice that you're supersonic, and yeah, you can sometimes catch your opponents off guard, but for the most part, even a plat, man, like, if they're used to going supersonic, like you going supersonic, so say you're driving along on the ground here, and then you have the ball like on the ground, right? Say this is your car and you're pushing it this way. If the opponent is also dropping back in supersonic, you're not magically going to be able to catch them off guard, right? Especially if the ball is rolling on the ground. So like the difference is that if you have like a bounce dribble and you're able to go slow and build up momentum and then just magically shoot like all of a sudden on like a bounce dribble, that's where the difference in speed really comes into play and you catch people off guard, right? Whereas if you're just pushing on the ground supersonic, well, even a plat can go supersonic backwards too, right? There's no surprise there. So oftentimes I find, and again, this is more of a personal like play style thing, but I find that like, why go supersonic? I think if you're not able to be calculated 100% of the time or near 100% of the time, it's not worth it. In my opinion, and that's just my take on it, right? I find that Prague plays the same way, and obviously he's a really high-level player. So, you know, and a lot of people play like that. You know, First Killer plays like that. There's a lot of great people that play like that, but that's just not my feeling on it. I prefer to try to play a more calculated approach. Yeah, see, like, even going supersonic here, you know, you're like, okay, I need to drop back, but you're already dropping back and you're already flipping back, going supersonic as if he's immediately just going to shoot this on your net. When that's not really the case. The play hasn't developed like that. He hasn't proven that he can just get these bangers top corner, like, you know, in the top 10% of your net. So, like, there's no reason to be going back so fast here. And actually, I'm surprised that this guy didn't challenge, because now that you're dropping back, look at the ball is way over there. You're actually going way faster than the play is. Like, he had a chance to just dive at this again and like beat you here or take a 50-50 because you gave him so much time. So that's where I think if you just slow down sometimes, like you are now, like the second you realize that the play is slowing down, that's great. But I think, yeah, see, there you go. Don't need to play fast. You just need to play around him. That's the idea. Yeah, I think if you're like, you're just playing faster than the play is developing sometimes. There you go. Take his boost, please. There you go.
I should have challenged a lot earlier.
Actually, I almost disagree, because at any point, if you were to challenge this, like right now, if you dive, there's a chance that he's already touching the ball, basically, right? So if you dive at this, he might just be able to chip it around you. So the timing of it, especially so when he has the ball on the ground here, the fact that there's no height, right? So you can actually afford to fake challenge and see what he's going to do, because then if he starts keeping it pushed along here, then yeah, okay, you take the mid boost and then go for a challenge or something like that, right? You limit his options of what he can do, and you're trying to see, you know, where he's going to go, and you're trying to eliminate those possibilities. So obviously the first one is, okay, yeah, he's not going to bring it up the wall. That's, you know, option one. He's not going to bring it like straight at you for no reason. So he's just waiting and being patient to see if you're going to challenge or not.
So then the fake challenge was a good call.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yep. Especially so because you're up actually 3-2. Your first priority is not to get scored on. You don't need to score whatsoever. So that's where I think the mentality shift comes into play. Like, yeah, you can actually afford to waste time, especially because you have 60 boost. You're up by 1 goal. He has the ball on the ground. He doesn't have a lot of potential to score on you. So yes, I think this is actually the perfect time to fake challenge.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, again, here's where you're dropping back, and this is such a simple thing, but notice how you flip to the right, you keep that distance between you and the ball now. You actually give him so much space, whereas if you just front flip, you keep this, keep your pressure on, you know, on the play here, because then he, at some point, since you're giving him so much space, he could actually just cut this and go behind you.
Okay.
So that's what I mean about trying to play too fast and trying to drop back too fast. And look at, yeah, he's able to get another 50 on you. And you have to dive at it again. Whereas if you just kept the pressure and front flipped, that wouldn't have been the case. Whew. There you go. Good recovery. I like that. Forces him to back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, just playing too fast, right? Like he doesn't, you know, you're not respecting him and the play isn't developing that he's, you know, he's not dropping back. So you have to respect the fact that he's still there.
Yeah.
You're just going 100 miles an hour right now for no reason.
Okay.
Ooh, close one. I actually like the idea here. I like the idea that you single jump, and ideally you'd kind of hit this either with the front of your car or like the front, you know, like left side, and pinch this on the left side of the ball like into the wall. That way it goes out, and then you can basically regroup and cover for yourself. I like that idea. It's not bad. It's just awkward of a read.
Yeah.
Actually, the boost grab isn't always a bad thing, but I think inherently, like again, he's about to hit the ball, and you're just not respecting that he's about to just keep going. Like, yeah, he took the ball up the wall, but man, if this was me, that'd just be an air dribble into your net. You know, that's been a couple times now that you've challenged as he's like about to hit the ball. But there you go, good pressure. Nicely done. I like the fact that you took your time there. One thing is, obviously, at this point, you can't see him. So, if anything, I would maybe see if you can get him in your camera at some point. Or, if anything, because you can't see him, I think the better play is to actually catch this on, like, the front left of your car and push the play this way. Because then, if you push the ball this way, then you bring your car on the back side of the ball and you turn ball cam on, you'll be able to see him in your field of view, right? Then you can get a bounce dribble going to the left side of the field. You can use more of the space, right? Rather than bringing it straight where he's more likely to challenge you. Whereas if you bring it across, he's more likely to either fake challenge and drop back or just drop back straight away. Does that make sense? I think rather than bringing it forwards, I think you could use this the open space on the left a little bit better. Because yeah, he could have just challenged you and you have no idea. Overall, you have pretty solid kickoffs.
Thank you.
Okay. So here's the thing too, is honestly, I don't mind you turning off ball cam and just kind of dropping back here, but either at some point, once you're along a path where you can pick up these pads, that's when you should turn ball cam on because you know you're already going straight, right? That's when you should turn ball cam on because at this point you have no idea if he's, you know, he could be going down the wall, he could be going straight to your net, he could be catching this and dribbling out mid. You literally have no information to work off of. So this is the time when you should turn ball cam on. Either grab this boost pad, then go. And once you get lined up right here, then you know you're straight. Then that's when you turn ball cam on because then you don't have to worry about picking up the pad or not. You line yourself up, you go straight, then you turn ball cam on. Give yourself more info to work off of because now even as you drop back and you go straight for this boost, it's like, okay, you're straight. Turn ball cam on here. Then that way you can see what happens as you drop back. And then you know, okay, can I turn up the wall? You know, do I have to turn around quick and make a challenge? Do I have to drop back to net? Do I have to push up and fake challenge? I mean, there's so many options, right? Do you have to drop back straight away? Can you fake challenge? So you have no idea. So it's about gathering that information before you turn around, right? Rather than after grabbing the boost, because then you have no idea. So at this point, you're like, oh shit, now he's in the air. He's coming at my net. So you're just all caught off guard. And I could call that before it even happened, right? So yeah, turn ball cam on before you grab the boost.
Okay.
That play is savable. I want to watch this again. Yeah, see how you're a little bit too much on the side there. He's getting really center, like behind the ball for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's, I like your flip. I think maybe you're turning a little too much
To the
left. Yeah. Yeah, see how far center behind the ball is behind the ball he is? Like he's basically on this like center line, just slightly behind it. Whereas you are way too far out to the side here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. There you go. Nice try. Okay. Again, notice how you're not keeping pressure here again. You're giving him space. I would actually stay a little closer underneath the ball because he's in a similar situation that you are. So at this point, I would actually diagonal flip to the left and keep pressure because then he can't immediately go up and, you know, get it over you. If you keep pressure, then he's not incentivized to go down the middle. Whereas now, because you drop back right away, he's got space to work with going straight down the middle. Does that make sense? I think it's been the common theme here as far as you dropping back maybe a little too quickly.
I'm just giving him too much space.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, because now he's got all this space in the world to play with. He's got an opportunity to grab boost. And now you're out of position. And that all started from giving him too much space in the beginning there. That all started from that. There you go. I don't mind the drop back there. You got to protect your net. Jumping here too early is actually a bad thing because for two reasons. When you jump here, right, you're actually jumping and out away from the wall and meeting the center of the ball. So at best, yeah, you hit this down to the corner, right? If you wait longer and you wait here, then you can jump out, especially if you go driving up the wall and you jump here, then that's where you can kind of get the shot out towards the net. But also because if you wait longer, he's also in the path of your shooting. So you might be able to just go for a demo, especially with 81 boost. If you might be able to just demo him, then use the last 50%, catch the ball and just drive it straight into the net. So there's two reasons why you should wait longer to jump here. You can see how because you jump early, it just screws both of those plays.
Yeah.
And now you even just let him grab boost. So all that was because of one jump. Didn't grab the boost pad there. Actually like the attempt on bringing it down to the ground there. I like that.
I just mistimed it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's actually not a bad idea to jump here, to be honest. Jump right now, because then you're actually hitting it down to the ground, and it's actually going straight up, not out. But if you jump down to the ground, you can actually land your car right here, and you kind of hit it out forwards ahead of you. Then you can be able to like jump up and take it out away from you. That kind of a thing. But it's not a requirement, but take the boost. Thank you. There you go. I like it. Good 50 there. That was really well played.
Thank you.
And actually, notice how the difference here is that you're not flipping into it. You're not jumping. You're not committing. You're just pushing the ball, right? You're playing really smart. Obviously, that's a pretty safe place for him to be most of the time. Is that close to his backboard? Because now if he gets a 50-50 and he wins, then he can basically drive it in over you back to your net. But, man, you had a really good 50 there. But you can see the difference when you stay grounded and you stay pushing the ball where you want to go without committing, without jumping or flipping. That's when you win. Every time you've kind of jumped at the ball, you haven't really done a whole lot with it. There you go. Yeah, again, just playing too fast. Yeah, actually, in the 1v1 masterclass, I think Randy would say to drop back and just reset. Because, yeah, at this point, you're in a good position just to let the ball is rolling this way. So let the ball roll, like, over your car and just bring it back, right? You can actually bring it back to your far corner if you want. That way he's less likely to chase you, go back to your other side. If you bring it down and bring it back to your corner this way or bring it to the sidewall, he's more likely to challenge you because it's along the way he's landing. But yeah, you can actually afford to like reset and give yourself a good position because yeah, this is super awkward now that he can just challenge you, especially trying to do a U-turn and shoot again really quick is really tough. So yeah, just based off of probabilities, this is just a much harder shot for you, you know. And I think that again comes from the idea of you just trying maybe way too hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess while the rest of this plays out, do you have any questions or anything about it, about anything I said?
Not
anything
really.
I say not make sense?
As far as I can tell, I either just overcommit or just giving the enemy
close.
Yeah, that killed me, dude. I was like,
bet.
oh, no.
Okay, so a couple things. You're good here. Try to use a little bit of drift in this, honestly. Right here is where you can use a perfect amount of use a little bit of drift to the left and then front flip, and you got it. I think any kind of flip to the left, diagonal flip, front flip, like side flip, anything would have been good. And again here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's a little awkward. Did a good challenge. This is where I would actually jump and tilt back, so that way my front wheels are kind of like up at the ball and just kind of pop it out high. I think because you jump and front flip, you're more likely to like rotate the back side of your car around, and that's when you hit like the top of your car, right? And that's why it dies. Whereas if you jump and tilt back and use the front of your car and hit it on the underside, you can propel it more towards the goal. Yeah, it just kind of dies because you hit at the top of your car. Ooh, yeah. I think you had a really good spot here. Just keep pushing it towards him. Get a bounce dribble and push it at him. Then that way, all you got to do is jump, follow up, and flip to the right. But because you didn't do that, you're just killing your momentum. You're killing your play. Like I said earlier, remember like about being explosive? It's the difference between being slow and then just pushing it really fast. That's what catches opponents off guard. But now because you're playing the slow game and you're trying to play it and just drive it at him, like, of course that's not going to work. Oof, again.
Desperate at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, to be honest with you, this is still scoreable. What I would do here is actually jump and air roll to like the right, so that way your left wheel is your aiming guide, and then you can basically hit the right side of the ball and then just diagonal flip left, and yeah, that would basically be a shot on net. But yeah, you have to use like the front left tire to do that, and it's a similar situation as before over here in the corner or on the sidewall. Whereas when you jump, you're just flipping into it, and you kind of front flip and just like hit like the top part of your car. See, like you're aiming and turning around. This is actually the dumbest. No offense. This is the dumbest like aerial or like shot, because now look at you purposely hit the ball, like you rotated your car to the left, like you tilted your car to the left and hit it on the right side of your car. Obviously to the wall, my guy. Like the goal is over there. You know, aim the other way. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple times where you had an opportunity to capitalize, and I think the one time right here when you were playing too slow, I think that's the one time when you shouldn't have, to be honest with you. The rest of the time you were playing too fast, you're dropping back too fast and giving him too much space. By the time you challenge, you give him another opportunity to challenge for 50-50 and that kind of stuff. I think you're maybe trying to play a little too fast, or faster than you need to. So yeah.
So if you could summarize entirely what I need to work on.
If I could summarize it, and this is actually one of the questions that I had from one of the guys in Discord yesterday. They were like, "Hey Avatar, what do you think is the one tip that got you to rank up?" Right? He's asking me like the golden question, right? That's like what everybody wants to know. To be honest with you, I think the one thing that I would say is matching the play speed of the play, or matching your car speed to the play of this, or the speed of the play. So as he drops back and as he pushes it to your net, you have to accelerate and match that play speed. Let me see if I can actually just pull up in a better example. I just went through a bunch of my replays and deleted them all, but this is a 1v1 I had against Dreamy, so he's like diamond as well, so I think a lot of these were kickoff goals, but so it's not going to be as See how I use my flick of the camera there to see like where he's at? That way I know I can turn around. He's too far away to make a play. See that difference in information gathering? Like as I'm dropping back and as I flip, I'm using my flip, the time during my flip to use my camera before I even landed there. So that's the difference in that information gathering that I mentioned earlier about using your camera to see where they're at. I'm going to see, he's got a shot on this. I'm going to see it's probably just off the kickoff. Okay. Messed up my dribble. Oh yeah, just a really good shot actually. He had a good dunk on me. I'm hoping I was hoping I could get like a play where he's going from his side to my side, to be honest with you. It might be a little harder than I expected. But basically, I guess, yeah, the idea, man, again, even using my camera there too, before I even go up the wall, I don't know where he's at. If he's dropping back, then I know I can catch it. If he's sticking around, then I know I can go quick and just beat him. So that's half the battle, is just knowing where your opponent is. Let me skip ahead to the goal that he got, or maybe where there's some space. This will probably be a little good back and forth. Okay, I'm just being a pest, stealing his boost. But look at, as he goes to the side, well, shit, I'm giving him mid boost. I might have also, I'll buy 6 goals, so I don't know exactly what my mentality was at this point. But even as he brings it from the side, I'm immediately dropping back. But the second I realize that this isn't going into my net, I don't need to really waste a whole lot of boost here. See how I know he's pushing it to the side? I'm not really playing that fast. I'm just playing to guard my net, basically.
Okay. Essentially, you're just getting ready for a counter.
Yeah. He's only as deadly as, like, the distance that I give him, right? So if he's going to the side, I don't need to go immediately back to net. I can actually go on the side with him.
So I guess,
yeah.
I guess the question that I would have that just came to mind would be, when you're shadowing, when would it be the perfect time to actually challenge a shadow?
Good question. I'll answer that after this. This is the difference between that shooting. Remember, this is the same scenario where the ball was just off the wall, but because I wait until getting the ball in between me and the goal, that's when I flip. That's when I jump. So there's that difference in that shooting compared to how you did it before. Okay, so I'm going to go into fly view, and then I'll answer that question. So I'm going to speak on hypotheticals. Ignore my car here. Okay, so actually, this is kind of perfect. So now imagine Danny is pushing the ball into my net like this, right? You have to think of, if he's pushing on my right side, you have to think of there being like a line between the ball and the goal. And as you shadow, the idea is that if you're shadowing along, you know, back to your net, that you can turn and challenge at any given point, right? It could be here, it could be here. I mean, it could be here, or you could go for a goal line save, right? The idea here in general is that you are on the one side of the ball, and anytime you go for a challenge, you are going across the field. You're not taking this as a 50-50 and trying to push this back to him, because he is an unmovable object, believe it or not. You're not magically, just like a kickoff, you're not magically going to front flip through him, right? A lot of people think they have to win 50-50s in kickoffs by front flipping into the ball, but that's not the case. You side foot flick, or you side flip, you side flip and push it safely to your back corner, to the side of the field where you're more likely to redirect it. So as I push and make my challenge, I'm keeping the net in front of me this whole time, such that when I go for my challenge, it's a lot easier for me to push it to the other side of the field here. You'll notice that if you go center, so as the play gets more center, say you're shadowing and you go parallel with the play, it actually gets significantly harder to challenge this now, because not only is it harder basically for you to do a U-turn and challenge around, but as you drop back into net along with the play, your controls are actually inverted because your camera is facing backwards, right? So your left is right, your right is left. So as they shoot top corner left and right, it's actually backwards for you. So especially as they shoot it up higher, your only option is to double jump and pop it up over the net, right? And out.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets significantly harder, whereas if you take this like wide angle approach, you kind of go parallel, then you take one of these and then again go parallel with the goal line instead, then you can push it out sideways and you're more likely to redirect it to your corner where that's the safest play. Then you get boost and you get ball possession, then you get a clean play. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So as for when to challenge now, it all comes down to the height potential. So if the play is on the ground, right? So say the ball is on the ground flat, then you have a higher chance of taking a 50-50 because they're not magically going to pop it over you. But again, you take the mindset of not trying to front flip through this. You turn around and you push this and then you side flip across the play. And again, you treat it like a 50-50 or a kickoff where you try to hit the center of the ball and then flip across it such that you cover the whole back side of the ball and push it where you want to go.
Okay.
So if they are on the ground, then you'll have a higher percentage chance of challenging, turning around and going. If they have it on their car, to be honest with you, it obviously comes down to situational, but in general, I prefer when they have it on their car and you're too far away, like say I'm right here, then obviously if I go and turn and challenge, they can just, pop it over me. So in that scenario, I would honestly just keep shadowing and wait for them to go. And then again, you drop back and you go parallel with the net. If they are so far back like this on the half court, then there is an exception where you can actually rotate and go across this line and kind of fake challenge, then come back and go again parallel with the goal. If they, by the time they bring it to your net, then they shoot it. Then that's where you can fake challenge. You can cross this line. Then again, the idea being that you go parallel with the goal line and you make a save back to your own corner this way.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Does that make sense?
Completely, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think that's pretty much all I got to say about that. You'll know that if you feel you can't fake challenge and turn around in time and do one of these, then you're probably just better off just waiting and having confidence in your defense to just go straight back to net.
Okay.
So I think that about covers everything on that. Any questions on that?
I have no questions. That is some really good information.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's all I got for that. I'm actually going to go over into free play now. We can talk about the fun part of this now and talk about what you can do to get better.
Okay.
So, to be honest with you, I'm going to kind of build up from the ground, like literally from the ground up, and I'm going to kind of go from like bronze to like champion flicks and stuff, right? So, obviously, I'm going to treat you like a bronze here for a minute, but bear with me. So, obviously, the first part is just getting the ball in our car, right? So, people oftentimes have trouble just getting it on their car. So I like to just tell people, obviously, roll the ball and go ahead of it. Then try to get the ball on top of your car by just driving into it. Then you can kind of gamify it if you really like to do workshop maps and stuff like that. Try to see how many laps you can do down the field if you can turn, or try to go into a private match and see how many seconds you can hold up the ball. Obviously, the goal here is to try to just keep you all four wheels in the circle when you're going straight. And then adding, like, obviously the turns at the end if you can. But the goal here is using zero boost. Notice how this entire time I've been doing all these laps without boost. On my YouTube channel, I actually used to be the world record holder for the longest dribble, and 99% of that video was me doing this exact same thing right now, of not using any boost whatsoever.
Wow.
So, yeah. Honestly, building up from there, then you get into more advanced, more applicable stuff, right? You're not always going to be able to get the ball rolling in a game. Be like, all right, hold up, I got to get ahead of it. All right, wait, now I got to turn around, right? You're going to get the ball rolling towards the net or towards their side, and you have to pick it up from here. So, obviously, if you want to pick it up from the ground now, you got to get on the side of the ball. So you're going to match the ball speed and just turn into it. Okay. I almost prefer if you actually overturn, because now if I get the ball rolling on the side of my car, I turn into it and I overturn, well, guess what? Now I can turn back into it again. And again, even from like an advanced perspective, that's where you get these like bounce dribbles from, right? And I'm never giving up possession. So you can build up from this And again, I'm not using any boost. I haven't used a single boost this entire time. And this looks really dangerous. Like, imagine trying to defend that. You know what I mean? Like, from the net. Imagine somebody coming at you like this, right? It looks deadly. You have no idea what I'm going to do at this point. So that's why I prefer you overturn. You can kind of add in more turns back and forth all the time. But to make it simpler, I would basically try to just get the ball on top of your car and try to keep turning into it and do like these little circles. You can also do figure eights if you feel comfortable, getting the ball in your car. You can get it left and right. What this will do is this will get you really comfortable pushing and turning the ball, right? I like to call myself really good friends with the ball. I'm really good at pushing it around, but it always forgives me. So, so yeah. And honestly, this is where we really get the building blocks for dribbles, right? So if I try to set myself up for an air dribble, well, guess what? That's knowing where to turn and when to let go of the ball. That's where I get my setup for the wall. If I don't have a good angle and I don't have good speed and I'm not matching the ball speed, that's, then I'm not going to have a good setup, right? So all of this comes from being able to manipulate the ball on the ground.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep building up from there. So now we get the ball rolling on the ground. We get it on the side of our car. We do turns. Well, now, like I said, similarly, so like instead of going for a 50-50 and you front flip into it trying to win, a lot of people think that they need to always front flip flick to score, right? Obviously, yeah, you get a lot more forward momentum that way, but at higher ranks, especially when you're shooting on net, people are more likely to get saves. So we're not going to give them forward progression there. We're not going to give them the ball, because then if they make the save, then they have boost and they have ball potentially. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to dribble off center, so I'm less likely to be challenged. If I dribble at somebody's net like this down the middle, I don't really have anywhere else to go. I can go left or right, but that's not where the net is. So we're going to take the 1v1 masterclass that Randy says, and we're going to actually dribble across field, right? And this does multiple things. This keeps them in field of view the whole time. So if they challenge me, all I have to do is side foot flick. And notice the difference here. I can side foot flick, turn ball cam on. I'm still relevant to the play. I can beat one guy, especially in twos. If somebody challenges me, I can beat that guy. Then I use an air roll shot and beat the defender in net. You see how much more deadly that is compared to just flicking and ending the play? And that all comes down to the dribble and the side foot flick there. So again, that all just builds up on top of being able to get the ball rolling, getting it around a person. Then you add a little bit of an air roll shot into it, and there you go. That's a lot more effective than I think a lot of what the offense that you had earlier was, where you're basically just driving it into them. You're trying to play fast. You're trying to play it towards their net, but all you need to do is just bait him into a challenge. All you need to do is get him to go, and you go, okay, well, there you go. Bye-bye. Now I can just drive it into your net, right? So there's a lot that you can build up on this from. You can go left and right. You're more likely to juke people in twos and threes. From there you can add little bounce dribbles instead of holding on to it. That's when you get, you get these little bounce dribbles. You can add, like Powerslide into it as well. So that's what I said about the drifting before. That's when you can do like the drift turns and stuff like that. Randy's obviously the king of drifts and stuff. So I'm trying to just get to his level. But basically, yeah, you can add little drifts into it. You can add these little bounce dribbles. Do it with and without ball cam, because now you see the difference is if I keep doing this without ball cam, I can't see the guy in the net right now unless I'm dribbling at him. Whereas if I do this and I drop the ball, if I do this with ball cam on, I can actually see a lot more of the field this way. You can see as I go, okay, then that's when I make my challenge after I see him go. You have a lot more play on the field here this way. So as I push it, I can see him going at any given point. That's when I cut back, and again, that's when we do our side foot flick, and he challenges me there, do a drift catch. So all this is like the fundamentals, right? And that all comes down to being able to manipulate the ball left and right. Like I said, I've been really decent on the 360s and stuff lately. The drift catches and all that stuff. So does that make sense so far on like the ball control?
Yeah.
It really just comes down to being comfortable with matching the ball speed. And then one thing I forgot to mention too is that do this as much as you can without boost, because then what that'll do is, you know, if you get the 45-degree flicks and stuff like that, or if you do need to flick onto net, you can actually use the boost that you do have to either go for a demo or to drop back, right? You're not using all of your boost to actually shoot on net. I use maybe 20 or 30 down here, you know, use a little bit. And if that wasn't a top corner, top bin shot, then I could go for a demo, you know, use the boost that I do have elsewhere, right? If you're more effective matching the ball speed here down the midfield, that's way more efficient that way. Then, you know, if they get a quick counter, you can be back on defense faster, you can make a better save, etc., right? There's a lot of reasons why using less boost for all this stuff is actually way more efficient.
Okay. Jeez.
So yeah, I think that's honestly it for that. As far as the flicks and stuff goes, to be honest with you, I actually break down I actually do have a 45-degree flick tutorial that I'm basically going to redo here, because it's basically the same as how I've always done it. I actually add in a half flip. So all I do is, for a 45-degree flick, is just jump, turn around, and then similarly to like how we do, like use the front corners for like an air roll shot, right? So I'm like using my front left tire and then do a diagonal flip for like a really powerful shot. I'm actually using the back tire, my back left tire now, as my guide, so that now when I do a back left flip and do air roll, that's my half flip, right? All I'm doing is a back left flip and turning over. So all I'm now is I'm doing the same thing with the ball. So I get a little bit on the left side of the ball.
Oh.
And that's all that is. And again, we're going to use what we learned earlier, dribbling off center. Woo! That was crazy. You dribble off center so you're not on the net. And again, you don't always need to be going fast, right? If you wanted to get more on the side of it, like a 90 here, you can kind of go more left and then do a back flip and then get more lateral movement to the right there, right? All that matters is the placement at the end of the day. If somebody, especially in ones, you know, if somebody challenges me here, all I have to do is get it behind him. It doesn't need to be fast. But that's where the control part comes into play. You know, being able to match the ball speed. But all that is literally just jumping, turning around, doing a half circle motion, and then doing a diagonal flip backwards. And that's my 45.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. As far as honestly, one of my favorite moves in ones is actually to dribble like center like this, off center, then wait for them to challenge and just do a backflip flick. And that's one of the things that I actually pride myself on being able to do really well. And something that you can also practice in free play is being able to just backflip flick it. Like, bro, you don't need to be going that fast, dude. That almost hit the ceiling.
God.
So yeah.
What
and notice
the
I can do this. I haven't used boost, by the way, in these last couple. But having really good control and like being able to not only backflip flick it, like, you know, straight up, but also being able to catch it back left. But also such that like if I'm driving at the net and I backflip flick it, it actually goes forward still. Because now I can follow up because I backflipped, I can go for it again. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of control. There's a big control piece to just backflip flicks alone that like, yeah, okay, I can backflip flick this. Okay, now see if he gets it, then I can follow up. So backflip flicks are huge. But again, notice how this entire time I don't really have to use a whole lot of boost. It's all about just that positioning. Then I'm not going to give him the ball. I wait. I'm being patient and efficient. Then that way, if he does challenge me, I can use my boost to get back, and I can use it better.
This is some really good information. Like, this is the type of control that I want to get. And it's not that I'm terrible at controlling the ball, but I'm not this good. Like, I can't do it without boost.
Right. Yeah. You know, playing slow for a minute is actually training him, being like, okay, this guy's playing really slow. But then if you're just able to like drop the ball or, you know, like get a flick off really fast, that's all that really matters, is that you just catch him off guard, right? So yeah, it's a bit hard to explain, but hopefully I can kind of hopefully that some of that makes sense.
It completely did. Like, I'm doing this for my stretch training. Screw it. Anyway.
I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, if there's anything that I can say that I really helps is this like sideways dribbling, right? Being able to do circles like this without boost, being able to side flip flick, like having actual controlled flicks. A lot of people think that it's just getting, oh, I've got the ball on the side of my car, I can just flick it by double pressing X. It's not actually that simple. I think really driving your car through the ball like this, getting it on the ground, driving it through really helps you like learn like total control. Like, dude, even something like that, I don't know if you can really tell, but you can use like 10 or 15 boosts to get like an insane flick over people. And you don't need to be going that fast. It all matters about just how you know, like, I guess, how you use your boost and how you match the play, or how you match the ball speed.
Yeah. Because it makes complete sense that there's no reason why to do a fast dribble if you're going at an A.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah.
My god.
Love it. Dude, I've been killing it on these drifts right now, so.
I can tell, dude. Because, as you said earlier, you're just dribbling it into their corner. That's not where you want it to go. So being able to save your boost, or even going for boost pads, if you have like 20 boosts, following the boost pads towards in an angle, and actually having boost and them thinking that you don't have boost, because the majority of the time, especially in Champ 1 and below, if you're dribbling without boost, they're gonna think you have no boost.
Right.
So
being able to shoot like that, even you don't need boost to like get shots off like that. Then you're a much more effective player if you can dribble without boost and flick without boost. Yeah, you're way more deadly.
And then just using the boost that you have for
everything else.
Purposes, than to just boost through a failed flick.
Right.
You've blown my mind. This is awesome.
And that's when you pop off. That's when you shoot. And again, I don't need to use 100 boost here. I use 20. Now I can go for a rebound, right? So like that's the difference between like that champ gameplay and like being able to shoot really effectively, like GC shooting, right?
I have so much to learn from you, and I'm super excited.
I appreciate it, dude.
You know, that's something that I'm going to be needing a lot of help from you. And I think every once in a while I might come in here and say, Avatar, I need help with mechanics. You know, just
yeah, honestly, the mechanics and stuff like that is much easier to practice and like correct and give guidelines on, because it's very, you know, I can just show you how it's done, right?
Exactly.
Oh my god, that dribble, bro. I love it. Whereas like replay analysis and stuff like that, that's all mental and that's gonna take time. Holy shit, that hit the ceiling. Oh my god.
You're a beast.
I'm popping off right now. I'm not even like trying. I love it. Holy shit.
I think the last question I had